I want you to imagine coming to an island in the San Francisco Bay for a deeply transformational experience and spending a day or two in person with us, getting individual attention on the aspects of your relationship and your love life that matter most to you. And now imagine having the stage set for you in the most gentle and respectful way for you and your partner to permanently resolve your biggest recurring conflict without getting triggered. So either you're coming with your partner and you can do that, or you're coming alone and you're being set up to do that on phone calls and other interactions with them.
Or you're looking at your pattern just as a single person on that one day to really do that inner work to unwind it so you don't bring it to the next relationship and the next one.
One of our past participants in this last workshop said that he couldn't believe it. He said, we dove in and we actually solved the most important issue of our whole relationship. We've been married for years now, and I just assumed we weren't ever going to solve it. I was crying my eyes out because I heard her say and acknowledge things that I didn't even think she had any idea about. It was amazing. So that's the kind of stage setting that was going to occur on this island in San Francisco in November.
Yeah, and one of the reasons we wanted to create a kind of a live experience with us, one is we create magic in the room. I mean, you know, they call us a dynamic duo, and there's a reason for that. But you know, the really what we notice though, all of that aside, is that there's a problem with relationships where we try to solve our hardest conflicts while we're triggered, right? And we force the conversation and try, and we're in the middle of both of us, or you know, or you look at any relationship trying to handle conflict, and neither of them are resourced, neither of them are bringing their best selves, and that's the moment in time when we're trying to resolve the biggest patterns that we have that we're not even seeing in ourselves. And so we basically have no resources to act like a grown-up in that moment. You know, we're acting 2 years old and throwing tantrums and really, really falling down to the lowest common denominator of where we've had arrested development. And so at the Evolving Love Workshop, what we do is we create a space of fun and lightness and love, and really what we really bring to the table is raising the conversation into a more evolutionary context, so that unlike maybe some technologies and circling in therapy and some of these other things that we've seen, rather than kind of circling the drain inside of the same consciousness that has created the problem.
Yeah, really examining it in detail and getting into and understanding
stuck
it.
On the lounge of why,
exactly.
As our friend Annie says, endlessly going round and round, and you're kind of navel gazing and circling the drain. We have developed many, many ways of pulling you up and out into an evolutionary context that raises you both into a much higher order conversation, and the quality of the questions and conversations that you're having creates the relationship you're in. And so, you know, several couples in our last retreat were actually giggling and laughing as they were talking about topics that previously they thought were totally taboo subjects. So that's what happens when you raise the conversations.
The no-fly zones, you know.
Right, yeah, no-fly zones. We have a system for resolving conflict that works. And it really is about rewriting your relational DNA. We have a way of like laser guiding you with our kind of loving, caring, you know, where we each represent the pole of the masculine and feminine, and we can usually translate for both partners really, really well working together. You know, so we have a system for resolving things, rewriting that relational DNA, either as a couple or as a single, that works, that feels great. And almost everyone from our last retreat said that they were actually able to solve their biggest conflict, their biggest pattern, and felt like it just wouldn't or even come back, you know, wouldn't even come back. And that's not bad for 2 days. You know, many people came to us after being in therapy for years around this topic, or for decades of having the pattern and reading self-help books and all of that. So, you know, we feel really proud of our ability to help you really rewrite that. And so, and that work is hard to do via online or in a webinar. So we really want to invite you to come see us and spend probably 2 of the most powerful days of your life rewriting that relational DNA, having an impact on every relationship you have. after.
Each of you have like a relationship angel and a relationship devil inside of you when it comes to how you relate to your romantic partner. At sometimes you're just an amazing, epic lover, so beautiful, so sweet, kind, insightful, thoughtful, romantic. And sometimes you're kind of a jerk, right? you're like
we sometimes
short
say that you reserve both the best of you and the worst of you for your partner.
So at the Evolving Love Workshop, you get to really let the angel side of you be in charge and determine how you want to resolve conflict. And previously, there are certain things that the devil's been in charge of, like sort of domains. Oh, this is coming up. I'm going to handle this, right? And so we kind of let the angel be in charge, really, and we soothe and relax the fears and concerns that lead the devil side to, so it doesn't have to come out and be so destructive and difficult. And so that you kind of like tame that devil side of you so he gets kind of cuddly, and then the angel gets to be in charge. And you end up walking out having seen yourself more as an angel, seeing the angel more in your partner. And that's part of what lifts up the whole thing to feel so amazing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So in this workshop, I want to talk to you a little bit about what you'll learn. And let's take a look at what you're going to learn with us. So we cover a lot in 3 days, and it isn't even just the 3 days, because you get months and months of working with us through an extensive manual we give you and an online group and all of that. But really in the workshop itself, we're going to practice 3 evolutionary conversations that will raise the consciousness of your relationship. We're really, really big believers in teaching you the nuts and bolts of what is evolutionary relationship. What are the distinctions that create it as such? How do you go from ordinary to extraordinary in your relating? And, it can be taught. It's just we aren't in an educational system where we're taught how to love and relate in these ways. But, in a few days, we can actually teach you how to do this. So 1 is you'll practice those 3 evolutionary conversations. 2, you'll learn about how more about what to do when your partner triggers you and how to de-escalate without giving up your truth. Right? We don't want, this idea of compromise or selling out or self-betrayal that we see is really common in how most relationships deal with conflict. One or the other of you is self-betraying over and over again. And even if in the moment that seems like a worthy sacrifice, over time, it never does. So that's 2. 3, we're going to design your ideal love story and practice embodying it together.
That's so fun.
Right? So we'll have you really work on that, and you're going to see evidence of each other really being a version of themselves that you'll just be in awe of as you watch, and we'll help you anchor that over the course of the months that follow, so that it's not just something you can do in the room with us, but it's something that you carry on. 4, we'll resolve once and for all one of your most painful recurring patterns. And if we don't resolve it all the way, we promise to at least begin you on the process and show you everything you need to do step by step in order to get there. In our last workshop, we had almost everybody in the room go from beginning to end and resolve something really, really fully and completely, and put to bed a recurring pattern. And so we'll give you all of the tools that you need to do that. And then 5 is, we'll show you how to make sure that your resolved conflicts stay resolved. Mm-hmm. Right? So that they don't come back later, a month later, a week later, a day later, in the car on the way home, So we're going to show you how to do that. 6, we're going to talk about why being good at conflict resolution is the way it's normally taught can actually hurt your relationship. Like there's some myths and misunderstandings that are super common that I bet all of you are doing, or at least most of you, even the really conscious ones. In fact, often it's the very conscious ones that are trying on some of these that are actually creating more harm than good.
Yeah.
And then, 7 will detect your partner's highest evolutionary path. And then we'll teach you how to guide them to it, and vice versa. So you'll each be discovering the evolutionary paths, the highest point of potential and developmental line that they need to go on next. And we'll show you how do you be the kind of person that guides your partner there so that they are just forever seeing you as the key to the man or woman they always dreamed of being.
Yeah.
And that's really what an evolutionary partnership is. So we'll tell you how to detect that and how to guide them.
There's a false dichotomy there. People think that either they're like trying to fix their partner. You know you're not supposed to fix your partner.
Mm-hmm.
So they think, oh, either they're trying to coach me or fix me or like, change me, or they're just hands off and they're like, well, to each his own. I'm not trying to fix you. So I'm not
Yeah.
involved. So there's this apathy or this controlling continuum that people think they have to be on, and we show you this total path completely off of that continuum, where you're not trying to fix them, but neither do you have apathy, but you're actually engaged in their evolution, which is what makes an evolutionary partner.
Totally. And then here's a big one, is that in the 2-day, we'll help you transcend the normal cycle of complaining and defensiveness. I mean, these are big ones in relationships. Like, I bet all of you can relate to the complaining and defensiveness as one of the primary patterns, not just anxious and avoidant. We're giving a lot of tools on that, but there's equally painful for relationships are the complaint and defensiveness, the victimization kind of that we go into around our relating. We're going to talk a little bit about how to transcend that for you and your partner.
And so we're going to go to questions in a second. But before we go to questions, and we're going to answer some of your questions, and there's some great ones already, I want to let you know how you participate. So first of all, you want to register now by clicking the button, and it's on the screen for them.
Yeah. So, and they'll be taken to the choose, where if you're single, you click that button. That just means you're not in a relationship right now. We have a particular day planned for you, for those not in relationship. And then if you're either in a couple or in multiple relationships, even just we're agnostic about the relationship structure, you can come to the couples one, and you're welcome to come to all 3 days.
That's right.
But you'll be taken to a page that'll allow you to choose which one if you click the button on your screen right now.
So first you register, and then the whole thing starts with your love profile, which is a transformational experience in itself. And that is where you get to, through the use of our technology, get feedback from your friends, from your current partner, and if you're brave, even from ex-partners, about
which we recommend.
Yeah, it's really incredible, the feedback that you get.
People have told us that just doing the profile was worth the whole price of the program, and that was even before they showed up on the first day.
So you do that as a preparation, and the sooner you register, you want to register tonight so that you can get that started. Then the second piece to how to participate is the 2-day deep dive, which is in San Francisco on Treasure Island. Let us know if you're coming in from out of town. We got lots of wonderful hotel recommendations nearby. And there's lots of practice time in the 2-day deep dive with both your partners and with yourself and with the comfort of strangers. So you can, some stuff, like when you're practicing it, you don't have it worked out yet. You might want to not practice it with your partner.
We'll be partnering with other people in the workshop. You'll be in a room full of evolutionary lovers that are really deepening into this dialogue, and we'll be diving in together as we are all evolving the way we love.
And then we give a lot of focused one-on-one guidance to everyone throughout the experience. So in that 2-day, you get a lot of FaceTime with us. You also get live exercises and a workbook. So you can learn the practice, conversations, frameworks, and step-by-step practices that will evolve the way you love, the way you relate, the way you communicate. We give you a workbook, which is also downloadable. And we give you an email sequence where you get a reminder every week of a practice you can do that week to enhance and deepen your love relationship with daily, weekly, monthly rituals. These things are awesome. They're things that we do personally in our relationship.
Every one of them is stuff that we do all the time, and we wanted to share, like open the kimono. What are the practices that we're doing daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and give you those in an email sequence that's going to live on with you for the year after you do this workshop, to help you integrate the material so that you don't forget it, because you'll be reminded of it in your inbox.
And then you also get the user's guide to monogamy and non-monogamy, how to keep your sex hot and drama-free. And, some of you are in more alternative style relationships. We initially were going to write these 2 handbooks, how to keep sex hot and drama-free for monogamous couples, and then for non-monogamous couples. And we realized, to our surprise, after getting into the outlines, that the first 80% of the workbooks were the same. So that we have this one workbook, and you'll get that. That's another highlight.
Yeah, just around the manual that you're getting, it's really the beginnings of a book that Bryan and I will be writing together. And one of the things that people said about it was like, whoa, I thought this was just going to be sparse, like a few little handouts, this manual. And they're like, this is really meaty. This is rich. This in and of itself is incredibly valuable. I can't even believe you guys are giving me this entire manual, basically the war and peace of how to have a evolutionary partnership. It'll contain things we won't even have time to cover because we really want to give you something comprehensive.
And it's so good to have that like on the bookshelf so that you can take it down and look at it together a month later, 2 months later.
Right.
And then lastly, the way to participate is to take advantage of our office hours. Because once a week, we're available for a weekly office hours and the Evolving Love Facebook group to give you more one-on-one support. And it allows you to really belong to the community, of course, of like-minded seekers who you not can only learn from, but also share your experiences with.
So if you were going to pay us for our coaching, which we do one-on-one and which we'd happily try, you guys can call us now and we will work with you one-on-one. But if you were going to get personalized attention from us, it'd probably be around $7,500 or more and take you 5 or 6 months.
To do everything that's in the course.
To do everything that's in the course, one-on-one with Bryan and I separately, not in a live event group setting, but with us. And it would be worth it because we would just really laser in with you. And that would be some of the best investment that you could make in your relationship. There's no better investment you can make into the quality of your life than to improve the quality of how you love. It changes everything. And not only that, we replicate how we love in all of our systems and what projects we do in our economic systems, in our political systems, in our culture. So really we're talking about shifting the very culture that we're in by changing how we love. So, it would be worth the thousands of investment, but, instead of taking, all of that time, or 5 or 6 years of traditional therapy, or even 2 or 3 years of traditional therapy, that would probably be 10,000 or more, or maybe more than that. You can have this kind of shift in the way that you love and the way that you feel loved in just a couple days for couples and 1 day for the singles event. So we want to give you this live event. We love doing things in groups. There's a power that occurs in the field when we get all of you in the room together. That's a real rarefied space. So that's what we want to give you today at a fraction of that price. And everyone that hears that tells us, oh my God, I can't believe, spending 3 days with you, 2 days in the one event, 1 day in the other event is only a few $100s. We wanted to make this such a no-brainer, so accessible. And we may not do it at this price for very long as we start to build kind of our credibility and notoriety and come out with our books. But we wanted to make those of you that want to really start this process with us now have a way to do it with us at a few $100s so that you're really getting into it with us and having it be accessible and easy for you to say yes.
Couples coaches, therapists, and counselors have been reaching out to us to learn about what we're doing. And this is what one professional couples counselor had to say after taking the workshop. Quote, I feel like I've been waiting for this information all my life. My lens of what a relationship can be has widened and expanded. I now have a definition and a knowing of what an extraordinary and evolutionary relationship looks like and feels like. And I know the way I do relationship and the way I work with my clients is forever changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we tend to get incredible feedback from a lot of relationship counselors and therapists that love doing our work because they're like, nobody is teaching anything remotely like this. We had a therapist come in and say, can you certify me in some of this, because this is so far beyond what anything I've learned, and I really want to add it to how I help people in love. So even if you're in the business of love and relationship, this is just vocationally relevant to you in meaningful ways. You could pay thousands and thousands of dollars on becoming a licensed therapist, or you could come for 3 days with us and get the beginnings of a completely new understanding of how to handle love.